Welcome to the regular meeting of the Cape Coral City Council. Today is December 1st, 2021. This meeting now comes to order. Please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Long.
Thank you, Mayor. We come here this afternoon to celebrate the beauty of this city and the beauty of those who live here. We celebrate the fact we have a government that listens to its people, in which we have a voice, in which we can speak and make suggestions. We celebrate this afternoon a government in which we can elect our officials and are heard. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Gunter,
Here.
Council Members Cosden,
Here.
Hayden,
Here.
Long,
Here.
Nelson,
Here.
Shepherd,
Here.
Tate,
Here.
Welsh,
Here.
all present.
Thank you. Next item, item 5, is changes to the agenda. I would like to move item 12B, Charter Review Commission recommendation and presentation that will be given here to council tonight. I'd like to move that up until after citizens' input. Any other changes to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda as distributed with the exception of your change.
Second.
Okay, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll. Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Staff is recommending public hearing item number 3, continuance on that particular item, I'm sorry, a continuance of that item to December 15th.
Okay, and that was,
That's the charter
Ordinance
schools.
9621, amended master lease agreement with the Cape Coral Charter School Authority.
okay, all right. So we'll make that change as
The
well.
Attorney,
Madam City Attorney?
Just to clarify, on that one, you'll open the public hearing and have it, you just won't make a decision, the end result will be to continue it till the 15th. That way you'll be continuing it to a date certain.
Okay, and that's 96-21.
Yes, it's the same one that he just referenced, it's the charter school amended master lease.
Okay,
And this is to give the charter schools an opportunity to make their decision regarding the lease.
all right.
motion maker will add that to the motion.
And the second agrees?
Yes, second agrees.
There's really nothing to amend to the motion, it's, you're
Yeah.
going to still have it when you're going to have it,
Right.
you're just going to open it.
Okay.
The only thing I think that's happening with the motion is it's 12B is moving.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, Madam City Clerk?
Long,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Shepherd, Tate,
Aye.
Welsh,
Aye.
Cosden,
Aye.
Gunter,
Aye.
Hayden,
Aye.
all ayes, motion carried.
Okay. Next item is approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from the regular meeting of November 17, 2021. Is there a motion to approve those
So
minutes?
moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item, item 8, is citizens' input. Maximum 60 minutes is set for the input of citizens on matters concerning city government, 3 minutes per individual. Please remember to state your name for the record. Anyone that wishes to participate, citizens' input, will use the podium to my left in front of the double doors.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, Lou Navarra, Cape Coral resident, around 48 years. Omnicron, I call it Zombiecron. What is the plan for it by the council? Obviously, the governor has no plans other than to make it a political football. And what are we doing to protect our charter school children? Charter schools planning a trip. Oh, charter schools. I'm planning a trip to Jacksonville, and I will meet with them and see how they decided to give the charter schools the money, because I know that's a gray area for everybody, and I did speak with the board and the board chair recently. December 2nd is the meeting tomorrow night. If any of you are interested, I will be there. It's the half-a-cent tax governance body, you know, all the civilians that look and see if the taxes are being spent properly. One of you may want to go. Mr. Mazurkowitz is on that committee. I think he'd be a good resource for the city in the charter school funding. But you may not comment at this meeting. Waste Pro, they're still messing up. They missed our street, so I call Anita, and then I call 311 because you want to know about that. And I wondered what happened to our rebate, but the poor service continues. 311 call center doesn't work all the time, and I'll take that up with Mr. Welch. Like Waste Pro, there's no excuse for poor service. I'd ask the council to look into home rule, because some of the mandates from Tallahassee can be appealed through the county court, according to my readings. So I wanted to remind you of that again. Unfortunately, Tallahassee is governing us. There's no more home rule that I feel. And you are chartered, and Lee County is chartered. There's only 12 chartered counties in the state of Florida, according to my research. So I trust everyone. I'll be there tomorrow night, and I hope I can see one of you going, and hope you all had a good holiday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Navarre.
Sure.
Anyone else wishing to speak on citizens' input, please come forward. Seeing none, citizens' input is now closed. Is there any council discussion on citizens' input?
Mayor.
Councilmember Tate?
Mr. Navarre, I just wanted to let you know we are working with the Lee County School Board for the charter schools. We do have a meeting coming up on the 16th with Superintendent Savage, so we'll certainly let you know what happens with that. Thank you.
Seeing no other discussion, we'll move on to item 12B, which we moved up in the agenda, which is the Charter Review Commission recommendation and presentation. Mr. Maurer.
Good afternoon, Council and Mayor Gunter. My name is Todd Maurer. I was recently honored to be the chair of the Charter Review Commission for the city, and I'm here to present our findings to you this evening. I first want to thank the members. We had a great team that was assembled. We had Vice Chair Don Apking, John Bashaw, John Karcher, Joe Mazurkowitz, Barbara Safranek, David Wallace, and our alternate Jason Turner. And we worked in cooperation with our city clerk, Kimberly Bruns, and our city attorney. And of course, thank you again, Mayor Gunter, for acting as the liaison for that body. We looked at many different topics that were open within the charter. We were empaneled to solve a single issue, which I'll address later, but we did walk through and visit many different topics. And these are some of them that we did look at, including council size, public safety as a priority, proof of residency, what provokes an election, and so forth. And at the end of the day, we whittled it down to 2 items that we wanted to present to you for recommendation to move forward with. At this point, the first recommendation is the removal of the line item veto language in the charter, which affects section 406A, 406B, and 406D. Reasoning behind that is based on the mechanics behind our budgeting process and the way it works. It's not really a viable tool for anybody to use for a line item portion, because we don't really budget by line item. So it was we're making the recommendation that that be removed as whole, and the language is here in the presentation for you as well. The next piece was the part that we were actually impaneled for. If there's a vacancy and there's 3 or more folks that are running for office, Mr. Doyle's office was not able to support an election in the time frame that our charter called for. So we needed to extend that time a bit in the language, which we've accomplished there. asking for no sooner than 90 days and no later than 120 days following the occurrence of a vacancy for the special general election, and 45 days following certification for the primary special election. The language that's provided was approved under the review of both the City of Cape Coral City Attorney's Office and the Supervisor of Elections Attorney's Office. So we vetted all this language to make sure that it fits both with this body and the Supervisor of Elections offices as well. And we believe that that will fit nicely and be able to help us should we have a situation where we have vacancies that need to be filled. Lastly, one other piece that came up for discussion, and there was a lot of pretty deep discussion about it, is we want to make sure that the City of Cape Coral is firmly established as a public safety city, that we state it somewhere. The charter was not the right place to do it, but I was asked to present for your consideration that we try to find a place in the comprehensive plan to put statement that the City of Cape Coral is a public safety city. There are metrics that are part of a packet that I believe has been provided to you as well, that Mr. Karcher had put together some data looking at some guidelines where you can't fall below a certain number of officers, for example, based on different statistics that would be measured, and that's for your review as well. And that's what we have for our recommendations.
Thank you. I'll now open up for council for any discussion. Councilmember Hayden.
Todd, can you clarify your recommendation on the filling a vacant seat? Are you looking at this to be in any situation where there's 3 or more candidates that it would automatically go to special election? The language seemed kind of confusing to me about which direction you wanted to go for this. Can you clarify that?
Sure. So the language is meant to address not the mechanics behind what would trigger a special election, but merely the time frames of when that would have to take place should a special election be needed. Because the supervisor of election needs a certain amount of time in order to prepare to get things on the ballot, and our current language doesn't afford that amount of time to them to be able to execute it should we need it.
So you're not necessarily saying to do away with the appointment process?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Because we all know that with these special elections, there can be a cost
Absolutely.
of over $200,000. So.
It's only should the choice be made to move forward with a special
Thanks
election.
for clarifying that, and I'm not sure the comp plan is a place for that either. I know with our strategic plan and our strategic vision, public safety during earlier discussions was the top priority. So I think maybe the strategic plan might be a better place for that rather than the comp plan. But appreciate all your hard work on this. I know it's not a group that meets all the time, so to come together and put together these ideas, and you could tell you did your homework and reviewed the charter as well, so thanks, sir. Thanks for all your work on that. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. And I'd also like to echo what Councilmember Hayden stated. I want to thank you and all of the commissioners that were on the Charter Review Commission. Thank you for your dedication and your volunteerism to make sure that you went through not only the topics that you knew that was concerning to us, but it's just a broad overview of our charter in general. So I want to thank each and every one of you for all the hard work and dedication that you put into that.
Thank you.
And my recommendation to this council will be to take this recommendation under advisement and possibly schedule this as a topic of discussion in a future committee of the whole meeting in January sometime. That way we can discuss this recommendation and any other recommendation that this body feels that we need to address moving forward involving our charter. So that would be my recommendation.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. All right. Thank you again,
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor. All right. Well, moving on to item 9 is business. Item 9A is consent agenda. I will open up the consent agenda for council to pull any items for discussion. Seeing no lights on, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Long. Nelson.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Tate. Welsh.
Aye.
Cosden.
Aye.
Gunter.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried.
Okay, item 9B is personnel actions.
Hi, Lisa Sinego, Human Resources Director.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, if you have any questions on those items, those are creating the title so that those can be utilized.
Yeah, with the first item on there is Resolution 272-21, which is Assessment Coordinator and Building Coordinator positions at a pay grade 15 in finance. I guess we'll address each one individually. So does council have any discussion on that particular resolution, or is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution 272-21.
Second.
Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Long. Nelson.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Tate. Welsh.
Aye.
Costin.
Aye.
Gunter.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried.
Okay, 9B2 is Resolution 273-21, which is approval of the creation of a finance project coordinator, position at a pay grade MB 114 in the Finance Department. Any discussion on that, or is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution 273-21.
Second.
Okay, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Long. Nelson.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Tate.
Aye.
Welsh.
Aye.
Costin.
Aye.
Gunter.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried.
Okay, the next item is 9D, appointments to boards and committees. D1 is Community Redevelopment Agency appointment of the chair and vice chair. Madam City Clerk.
Yes, Your Honor. In the Community Redevelopment Agency bylaws, it states that council will acknowledge and agree to the selections made by the agency for chair and vice chair. At their November 2nd meeting, the CRA Commission voted unanimously to recommend council approve retaining Chair Linda Biondi and nominating James Brantley as vice chair. So if council agrees, we would look for a motion to approve those recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Long. Nelson.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Tate.
Aye.
Welsh.
Aye.
Costin. Aye. Gunter.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried.
Okay, item 9D2 is Health Facilities Authority. We have one vacancy, Madam City Clerk.
Yes, for the Health Facilities Authority, we received one application in an effort to fill the vacancy. Applicant's name is Julie Lynn Eveland. Ms. Eveland is present today if council desired to interview her. So we advertised it in the briefs for August, September, and October. And again, we have the one application for consideration.
Okay, so we have one applicant, one vacancy. Is there a desire from any council member to hear from that applicant, or is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Long.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Tate.
Aye.
Welsh.
Aye.
Costin. Aye. Gunter.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried.
Okay, item 9E is follow-up items from city management. E1 is water quality update. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm going to have your Interim Public Works Director, Mr. Mike Ilches, and his staff come to the podium and give you your regular update on water quality issues affecting Cape Coral. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Maya Robert, Public Works. The Waterway Advisory Board meeting was held on November 18. There were two items that came out. First, the overview of the process of loss sum was presented with the analysis of the plan chosen by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to manage Lake Okeechobee. And the board recommends that City Council publicly support that plan. Second, following a presentation regarding the citywide National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, MS4 permit, the board will request some follow-ups regarding increased education and communication on illicit discharges, especially given the development boom we're having in Cape Coral, as well as stormwater maintenance operations. An update on Lake Okeechobee system operating manual, which is the announcement of the plan that the U.S. Army Corps has chosen to operate the lake that will start at the end of 2022. The plan chosen was not the plan that was recommended by the Caloosahatchee stakeholders, the West Coast. However, that plan provides many benefits, and it's a trade-off between increasing the amount of optimal flows to the estuary and reducing the amount of regulatory discharges we're having. The current water quality conditions are good. There's no worry as of today. On Monday, we were still outside of the optimal flow range, but for the past couple of days, the U.S. Army Corps have decreased the discharges as S79, and so we are now in the optimal flow range for the estuary, and we hope we will stay like this throughout the dry season. No Broguinagi report and no retired report. I am here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions regarding the water quality update? Seeing none, thank you very much for that update. We'll move on to item 10, ordinances and resolutions. Item 10A, ordinance 72-21. Madam City Clerk, please read the title.
Ordinance 72-21, an ordinance amending the City of Cape Coral Comprehensive Plan by creating the property rights element, providing for severability and an effective date.
Thank you. Mr. Daltrey?
Good evening. For the record, Wyatt Daltrey, Planning Team Coordinator with the City's Plan Division. My credentials may be obtained at the City Clerk's office. We have before you the property rights element. The applicant is the City of Cape Coral, purpose of which is to establish the property rights element, which would be a new separate element within the comprehensive plan, purpose of which is to provide guiding principles in the comprehensive plan which protect property rights. This will fulfill a statutory mandate that became effective on July 1st of this year. Some background for you. Earlier this year, the Florida legislature adopted House Bill 59, which requires local governments to adopt a property rights element. Their enforcement, the mechanism they used to enforce local government compliance was to not permit any new future land use map amendments or comprehensive plan text amendments for review by state agencies until the element was established by the local government. So since July 1st, we've been in a holding pattern with those large and small scale land use amendments and text amendments as this has gone through the process of review with the state. House Bill 59 provided draft language to be adopted into the element, and the proposed language within this ordinance reflects that language. So we didn't want to reinvent the wheel, and basically if it was good enough for the legislature, we felt that it would be good enough for this ordinance. We have identified the key language of this ordinance basically is policy 1.1. It's the only policy within this element, and identifies 4 following rights for local decision making. The right of a property owner to physically possess and control interest in property, the right of a property owner to use, maintain, develop, and improve his or her property for personal use, the right of a property owner to privacy and to exclude others from the property to protect the owner's possessions and property, and then finally, the right of a property owner to dispose of his or her property through sale or gift. This was transmitted back in October 2021, so this is not the first time we've presented this ordinance to you. It was transmitted to the state and regional agencies. We received a response in early November. In response to the state's review, we deleted a section of the proposed language. We used to have an objective within the language. We deleted that. There's some concern that that would have limited the scope away from what the legislature wanted. We reviewed that with the state, and they were fine with what we chose by deleting that objective. To conclude, staff recommends adoption, and I'll stand by for any questions.
Thank you. Now a public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 72-21? Please come forward. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion for approval of ordinance 72-21?
So moved.
Any council discussion? Madam City Attorney.
Wyatt, just to be clear, the copy that the council has in front of them, does that already have the state's deletion in it? Or do they need to adopt it and specifically say deleting objective 1?
We had worked with your office to provide a revised ordinance title. Actually, the ordinance title wasn't really touched. A revised ordinance that deleted that objective. So basically, the new language just has a goal for the element and then policy 1.1.
So all council has to do is just approve it.
Councilmember Long.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick, Wyatt, from a timeline perspective, it's my understanding that with that, there's a couple things that are being held up that council is going to vote on until this has been approved or implemented. How far does this put us back in our timeline having to redo this?
Basically, try and address that. We have 6 land use amendments that have been in a holding pattern as we've been trying to push this process through. I want to say the first of those amendments in a normal timeline would have been brought before council in September. So it's been delaying some of these ordinances by a good 4 months. We have a schedule where those 6 amendments will be introed on December the 15th, 3 of them on December 15th, and 3 on January 5th. So we hope to resolve this backlog right around January 19th.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Long,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Shepherd,
Aye.
Tate. Welsh,
Aye.
Cosden,
Aye.
Gunter,
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
8 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, we'll move on to ordinance 91-21. Madam City Clerk, please read the title.
Ordinance 91-21, an ordinance amending the City of Cape Coral official zoning district map of all property within the limits of the City of Cape Coral by rezoning property described as Unit 24, Block 1068, lots 1 through 40, Block 1154, lots 1 through 40, and Block 1073, lots 1 through 15 and 30 through 40, Cape Coral subdivision, from professional office to residential multifamily low zone. Property located between Cultural Park Boulevard South to the east, Southeast 9th Street to the south, Southeast 6th Court to the west, and Southeast 7th Street to the north, providing severability and an effective date.
This is a quasi-judicial hearing. Anyone wishing to speak or provide testimony must be sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. White?
Good evening again, Wyatt Daltrey, Planning Team Coordinator with the Planning Division, City Planning Division. This case was presented to you back on November 17th. It's customary for rezones like this, where there's 2 public hearings before council, that we offer you the opportunity, whether or not you wish for us to do a second presentation or to skip that part of the meeting. I offer that to council.
I think that since we've had it so short time ago, I think we're probably okay with that, unless any council member would like to hear the presentation again. Okay. All right, I'll now open up public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 91-21? Please come forward. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed.
Motion to approve ordinance 91-21.
Second.
Any further discussion from council? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Long,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Shepherd,
Aye.
Tate. Welsh,
Aye.
Cosden,
Aye.
Gunter,
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
8 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, we'll move on to ordinance 96-21. Madam City Clerk, please read the title.
Ordinance 96-21, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an amended master lease agreement for all charter schools and facilities with the Cape Coral Charter School Authority for the lease of property owned by the City of Cape Coral at 3519 Oasis Boulevard, 3519B Oasis Boulevard, 3507 Oasis Boulevard, and 3415 Oasis Boulevard, and 2817 Southwest 3rd Lane. A copy of the amended lease agreement is attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, providing for severability and an effective date.
Mr. City Manager?
Again, Mr. Mayor, staff recommends a continuance to December 15th.
Okay, I will now open up the public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 96-21? Please come forward. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion for continuance?
Motion to approve the continuance to December 15th, of ordinance 9621. Second.
Any further discussion from council? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Long,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Shepherd,
Aye.
Tate. Welsh,
Aye.
Cosden,
Aye.
Gunter,
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
8 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, we'll move on to Resolution 275-21. Madam City Clerk, please read the title.
Resolution 275-21, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Cape Coral, Florida, approving the Local Housing Incentive Plan as required by the State Housing Initiatives Partnership Program Act, subsections 420.9076 Florida statutes and Rule Chapter 67-37.010 Florida Administrative Code, authorizing the submission of the Local Housing Incentive Plan for review and approval by the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, authorizing and directing staff to prepare the required amendments to the Local Housing Assistance Plan in accordance with the Local Housing Incentive Plan by the required submission deadlines and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Turn it over to staff.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. For the record, Amy Yearsley, Housing Coordinator with the City Planning Division. As discussed previously in the title, in accordance with Florida statute, the city must have an Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. This committee is required to look at potential incentives that can be put in place to encourage or facilitate the development of affordable housing. This requirement started in about 2008. It used to be a triennial thing, so every 3 years we would do this. This was recently changed in Florida statutes, and now we must do this annually. The recommendations made by the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee represent an attempt to remove regulatory barriers that don't limit development of affordable housing. The committee recommends specific actions or initiatives to encourage affordable housing while protecting the ability of property to appreciate. This plan must be adopted by December 31st of 2021. The first plan, again, was adopted in 2008. And the Affordable Housing Incentive Plan that's attached to the resolution serves as the committee's final recommendations to City Council. So over the last several months, the committee has been meeting. There are 11 incentives that they are required to review by statute, and I've listed them all here. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. There are 3 of them that are required. There are 3 that the city has to have in place in order to receive our state funding. Those are expedited permitting, the review of policies and procedures and ordinances for an impact on housing, and a triennial review of public land for any land we have in our inventory that could potentially be used for affordable housing. In 2018, we had 8 incentives that were approved and that were in place. There were 3 required. We also had a flexibility in density, a reduction in parking requirements, reduction in street width, an allowance in flexible lot configuration, and the modification of impact fees. 5, 6, and 7 actually are not specific only to affordable housing. All development are offered those through our land development code, but we include them on the list. So the committee met and looked at each incentive. What I've tried to do here is kind of speed this along so I don't go through everything. So the 2021 report maintained 6 incentives, and you can see that I put a green dot by each of those. So you have your expedited permitting, your ongoing review, your triennial review, the reduction in parking, street width, and flexible lot configuration. Again, those 3 are available to all development. The 2021 report recommended a modification of the existing incentive. We had an incentive related to the impact fee deferrals for single-family homes. We currently have a single-family impact fee deferral program that is available to nonprofit partner agencies, and it is a pilot program, so it is due to expire in, I believe, 2022. The committee met, and the committee is recommending that we make that particular program permanent, the single-family impact fee program, and then also to expand to include multifamily projects that are specifically funded by the city or the state of Florida for the development of multifamily. The 2021 report had 4 incentives that were excluded. 2, 3, and 4 were excluded in the prior report. You'll notice that the flexible and density provision for affordable housing had previously been removed, and it was removed as part of this. That is more because our density programs that we had in 2018 through our development incentive program, we had specific densities programs for the South Cape, were taken out of the code. So this just reflects that our current code does not have those density programs anymore. So the action this evening, the council has a couple of choices. You can discuss and adopt one or a few of these particular incentives. You can adopt all the recommendations. You can adopt some of the recommendations. Or the fourth is read the report and take no further action. We have one potential change, which is the recommendation for the modification of impact fees. If that is recommended by the council and included, we would have 90 days to change our local housing assistance plan. And any program, if say you did approve the multifamily plan or the single family impact fee, move to a permanent plan, that would have to come back to City Council for separate action for you to approve. And that is my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm available.
Thank you. I'll now open up public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak on Resolution 275-21? Please come forward. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. The recommendations.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
I just would like to clarify the motion is to approve Resolution 275-21 with the recommendations
Recommendations
attached.
made by staff. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Long?
Aye.
Nelson?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Tate? Welsh?
Aye.
Costin? Aye. Gunter?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
8 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, we'll move on to item 10B, introductions, Resolution 267-21. Madam City Clerk, please read the title, set the public hearing date.
Resolution 267-21, a resolution providing for the vacation of plat for a portion of the Catfish Canal right-of-way and all underlying easements located adjacent to lots 15 through 19, Block 4685, Cape Coral, Unit 70, providing for the vacation of plat for public utility and drainage easements adjacent to the Catfish Canal associated with lots 15 through 19, Block 4685, Cape Coral, Unit 70, providing for the vacation of plat of all internal lot lines and internal platted easements associated with lots 15 through 22, Block 4685, Cape Coral, Unit 70, property located at 3622 Chiquita Boulevard South, providing an effective date. The public hearing will be December 15th, 2021.
Any council discussion or any staff discussion on this? Seeing none, we'll move on to ordinance 99-21. Madam City Clerk, please read the title, set the public hearing date.
Ordinance 99-21, an ordinance creating Chapter 29 Economic Development and Business Incentive Programs of the City of Cape Coral Code of Ordinances by establishing Article 1, General Provisions, providing for purpose, intent, and authority, providing definitions, creating an Economic and Business Development Incentive Fund, providing for general program requirements and guidelines, establishing Article 2, Incentives, creating a local job creation incentive program, providing for the Florida Qualified Target Industry Tax Refund, creating Creative Cape Arts Incentive Program, creating Cape Collaborates, Small Business Partner Program, creating a business infrastructure grant, creating an enhanced property value recapture grant, providing severability and an effective date. The public hearing will be December 15th, 2021.
Is there any council or staff discussion? Seeing none, we'll move on to ordinance 100-21. Madam City Clerk, please read the title, set the public hearing date.
Ordinance 100-21, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Cape Coral creating and establishing the Cape Competes Advisory Board, amending the City of Cape Coral Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 5, Boards and Commissions, creating Division 16, Cape Competes Advisory Board, providing purpose and creation, powers and duties, membership and appointment, term and vacancies, and forfeiture of office, meetings, procedures, records, and quorum, compensation, providing severability and an effective date. The public hearing will be December 15th, 2021.
Is there any discussion from staff or council? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 11, unfinished business. Are there any follow-up items from council? Seeing none, we'll move to item 12, new business. 12A is the Edison Festival of Light discussion brought forward by Councilmember Nelson. Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor. If you all recall, a few meetings back, I had been approached by some committee members of the Edison Festival Light Board to see if Cape Coral would be willing to be a sponsor. When I brought the information forward, what I did find out is that the City of Fort Myers gives an in-kind sponsorship to the festival every year in terms of police coverage, roadblocks, staff, those types of in-kind, up to about $8,000. I was asked by this council to get some more information, so I'm going to read through the list, and I did send some backup that I received yesterday, but it really was just some of the numbers that were provided to me. I was asked if Lee County and any other municipalities participated in any of the sponsorships. The answer is none, no. I was asked the number of Cape Coral students that participate in the Inventor Fair and STEMtastic events. From the last 3 years of data that was sent to me, we ranged anywhere between 16 and 25% of the students that participated in the Inventor Fair, as well as the STEMtastic events, came from Cape Coral. They were our students. And then I was asked about scholarship info. And that, unfortunately, is a really important number that I was not able to get the last few weeks. Because they don't necessarily track their scholarship dollars. I was told that there is a percentage that comes out of Cape Coral, but nobody could give me what that percentage was. So I bring this forward to you as a council because I said I would, to ask if we would be interested in sponsorship at any of the levels, $8,000, $5,000 level, to further hopefully grow this event to benefit even more children of Cape Coral, more students in Cape Coral, and of course show our support of our sister city across the bridge. Thank you, Mayor.
And do you have a recommendation?
My recommendation, because I always look in visionary, I look in the visionary mode, and I look at potential partnerships and collaborations that we could be really, really benefiting from, both cities. In other words, they come and help sponsor our events, we go to their events, and we help sponsor their events. I would say, I would recommend that we look and consider a $5,000 donation this year, and maybe we are a best practice in the other municipalities in the county and getting them to also participate, because programs like this that sponsor those types of events that our children can benefit from, I think are always a good thing. And I think that it would be a great opportunity for us to show unity and a collaborative spirit. And then again, in the future, when we have our events like Red, White, and Boom, or some of the other events that we have that would benefit their partnership as well. I think it's good for the future, looking at the future. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, and I'll open up the floor for council discussion on this topic. Any council member would like to weigh in on it? Councilmember Tate.
So you're suggesting that we sponsor up to $5,000, and where would that money come from?
I would think it would come from our council budget.
And what do we get for that?
We would get any of these, if you look at the sponsorship information, we would get branding, media branding, we would get sponsorship recognition.
Yeah, I read it. I just didn't know if there was anything that maybe you just didn't put. For me, so we'd be the only city in the county besides the city of Fort Myers that is stepping up to the plate, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that. I like to look visionary, but I also think we can do a lot with $5,000 in our council budget.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Councilmember Welsh.
I don't necessarily see a problem with sponsoring. The problem that I have is that they don't have any track or information to give us as to where the scholarship dollars go. So with that being said, and not knowing where the money's actually going or what we're donating to help, I would be against it at this time until maybe that information is given to us. But I do agree with Councilwoman Tate that I would prefer to keep our money in the Cape and maybe sponsor our own sort of festival of lights, which we do have coming up this weekend on the 4th, right here in our own city. So, thank you.
Any other discussion? Yeah, I think I have to agree. As much as I believe that we should partner with our neighboring cities and the county on regional type issues, you know, one thing that I'd look at is the return on investment that we would get out of it. And I think I kind of agree with Councilmember Welsh where maybe we don't have enough information yet to participate into that. I would like to see more exactly what those dollars will be utilized for, you know, because what we will actually be doing, even though we do have some Cape Coral residents that participate in that, these monies will actually Cape Coral tax dollars that we'll be utilizing for this function. So for me personally, I would probably need a little more information and maybe pass for this year and take a look at it again next year. So that would be my desire. Any other discussion on that? Okay, I think that probably gives it the direction that you're looking for, council member. All right, item 12B, the Charter Review Commission, we heard that earlier tonight. That was moved up in the agenda. Item 13 is reports from the council. And Madam City Clerk, do you have the sequence of reports? Because I do not have that. Thank you. Councilmember Long, report?
No report, Mayor.
Councilmember Nelson?
No report.
Councilmember Shepherd?
No report.
Councilmember Tate?
Yes, just briefly, just to let you all know, we are starting to see again several new letters that are coming in on the flood insurance issue. It is making its way through Facebook, social media. Today I received several letters from local builders who are being impacted. I have been in contact, city manager helped me get in contact with Amanda again from our lobbyists from Becker and Polikoff. And I just wanted to give you a quick, what she said today. I asked if we should continue to write letters. She said letters won't shake this loose. There are a number of very committed offices, among them Rubio's, that are working hard to gain inclusion. However, this is one item among many that are being negotiated in the context of a multi-trillion-dollar package. A lot of politics here, and we have made a very solid public policy case for this. So We struggle. Today I got some serious letters, and I'm forwarding them to you, Rob, from builders that are being impacted and very concerned about the real estate market and how it's going to affect us. So we continue to work on it. Mayor's working on it, and it just seems like it's stuck in Washington. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Welsh, report.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to say that I attended the big old bonfire on Saturday the 20th. It was a great success. I wanted to thank Special Events for all the hard work they put into that. It was nice to see people get out and about. Also want to thank the fire department. They put on quite a show, and it was quite a big old bonfire, might I say. One that was kept well, safe, and done properly. So I thank them for coming out and putting on that show for us. Also, I attended on Saturday the 22nd, the Helping Hands for the holidays at Aubuchon Homes. That is a yearly event that I enjoy going to, and they do a lot of good for the community with that. Other than that, that's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Cosden.
Just one thing, I attended the menorah lighting at the Jewish Center on Sunday, and happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. Thank you.
Councilmember Hayden.
And just a reminder to golfers out there, the Cape Coral Mayor Scholarship Golf Tournament is Saturday morning at Coral Oaks, and they are still in need of players. So if you're interested in playing, go to capecoralmayorscholarship.com. Mayor Scholarship has been in existence for just about 4 decades, and last year they gave 10 $4,000 scholarships to Cape Coral High School seniors, reoccurring scholarships. This year they're also going to be offering scholarships to students who are interested in tech and the trades. So they're expanding, they do good work, and the golf tournament is one of their major fundraisers of the year. So if you have the time on Saturday and you'd like to play, I think it's a 8:30 shotgun start at Coral Oaks. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager?
Mr. Mayor, may I ask Councilmember Hayden if there's another way for individuals to donate to the cause without playing golf?
Yes, you can go to that same website, capecoralmayorscholarship.com, and there's a donate button right at the top on their homepage. And yes, that is another way to donate. They are currently, just to add to that, they're currently taking applications as well. And so for any high school seniors that are out there, it's a way to get part of your education paid for. And again, they do important work. So yes, you can donate. You can donate that way. Thanks.
Thank you. My report, myself and Chief Lamb and the city manager, and I know the honor guard and some of the fire personnel on November 18th, we had the honor and the privilege to attend the Florida Fallen Firefighter Memorial Service and Prayer up in Ocala. And there was 18 individuals that were recognized that particular day. 2 of those individuals were our firefighters. The first one was James Gunter, no relation, who was an engineer with the fire department, and Lieutenant Michelle Clore, that was added to the memorial up in Ocala. So it was an honor to attend that ceremony and also meet the families and offer our condolences as a city to those families. Also, November 28th, I attended the menorah lighting with Councilmember Cosden. Councilmember Shepherd was there, myself, Councilmember Nelson, the city manager, the police chief, the fire chief. I think I covered everyone. So that was another great event that we go to each year. And just want to say happy Hanukkah to our Jewish community here in Cape Coral. Also, last night I was a guest speaker at the Cape Coral Republican Club. And also I want to just remind our residents this Saturday we have the Holiday Festival of Lights, the tree lighting downtown here in Cape Coral, 5 p.m. It's always a great event that I attend each year, and I would recommend that our residents stop down and participate in those events. It's always a great family event for our community. Also, I just wanted to let this council know that I have had discussions with County Commissioner Kevin Ruane regarding to implementing a voting member again on the TDC Commission here in our county. And I will be, one of the requests that was made from the commission was that we have a formal request. So I just wanted to let this council know that by the end of the week, I'll be writing a letter to the county commissioners requesting that we have that seat re-implemented that we used to hold. So we can try to have representation here in our city. I think that would be very important. Also, just to let council know, earlier today I had a discussion with the city manager in reference to some of the permitting issues that I know I've received several complaints. I don't know if any other council members have. I know that the city manager will be taking a look at the process that we have in the permitting department, and will be bringing back a recommendation, I believe, to this council next year once he and his staff take a look at the multitude of reasons for that particular lag in our service that we have at this time. Other than that, I don't have any other report. Madam City Attorney, report.
I have no report.
Mr. City Manager.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, time and place of future meetings. We have a committee of the whole meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, December 8th, 2021 at 2 p.m. here in council chambers. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.